Penix won't get out there, and Kurt won't get out there, so we'll see Stick, we'll see Emery. That's probably the most definitive thing that I can tell you right now. And we got Jalon going, obviously, as a rusher. As he gets comfortable and more comfortable playing, obviously missed a little time last week, but you're able to move him around a little bit more because that's a big part of his strengths and what he did at Georgia.
When you say as he gets more comfortable, do you mean during this rookie season or further down the road?
I mean, this is going to happen pretty quickly.
Is there any feeling that you're behind just because you've missed a little bit of time?
Not at all.
What leads to why not?
Just because I know myself and the way I pride myself on staying prepared in all situations. Mental intensity, like I said, the mental preparation, the things that I take pride on, and just being in the film and being in my job.
Falcons fans wanted Terry Fontenot to go after Micah Parsons, but he gave you what you needed and signed Kaleb McGary to a 2-year extension. And believe it or not, that's actually the smarter move. Step into the bird bath. What's going on, family? It's your boy C-Mo the C Mitchell. You tuned in to another episode of the Falcons Bird Bath. Shout out to our loyal subscribers and followers. That like and subscribe button for us. Small thing for you, but huge for us in the algorithm so that we can continue doing this content for you guys. And mob up in the comments and let me know what you guys think about our discussion today. By now, everybody on the planet knows that Micah Parsons actually wants out of Dallas. And tons of Falcons fans out there would love for Atlanta to pursue him. But what Terry Fontenot actually did recently is go and re-sign Kaleb McGary to a 2-year extension, which is actually, believe it or not, really the smartest move that we needed moving forward. To be honest with you, we've got our offensive line sold up through 2026. We got Chris Lindstrom through 2028, and Jake Matthews is signed up through 2027 and 2028 as well. This puts the Falcons in a position where we have one of the better offensive lines right now in the league collectively, and we have cohesion and familiarity and a veteran offensive line that isn't going to have to relearn this playbook anytime soon. That's going to be really good for Michael Penix moving forward. Now, going into the season, PFF has Kaleb McGary and Jake Matthews rated as both top 30 offensive tackles in this league right now. And not every team has 2 guys rated in the top 30. People make a whole lot of fuss about the fact that Gary's going to be the blind side offensive tackle. That doesn't quite matter as much with as many of the quarterbacks taking pistol snaps and take a shotgun snap. And with teams being so pass happy and being able to be mobile so often, it's not as big of a deal, honestly. And quarterbacks are going to have their back to both sides periodically anyway, as Kaleb McGary pointed out. Another reason I think this is a good sign is because Kaleb McGary is one of the better run-blocking offensive tackles in the league, actually, and we love to run the ball. We want everything to go through Bijan Robinson. We want to be able to run the ball on teams and be able to establish the run first and be able to set things up off of the play action. Now, I know a lot of people want to see the Falcons actually go after Micah Parsons, but honestly, I don't think that's a really good idea. To be honest with you, doing what we did in the draft and going after a James Pearce Jr. and Jalon Walker both in the same draft is like going after Micah Parsons twice in 2 years in a row. And I know a lot of people are out here saying, yeah, Micah Parsons is better. You know what you're going to get out of him right away. But coming into his draft, nobody knew that Micah Parsons was going to be the edge rusher that he was. They were expecting him to be an off-ball linebacker. Micah Parsons being what he was is actually why we did go after a Jalon Walker. And I don't think that you need to go after Micah Parsons at this point in time because you're going to have to give up too much more draft collateral moving forward. And we're actually going to have to shore up different parts of this team moving forward. In the next couple of years, we're going to have to make sure that we draft somebody at cornerback. We're going to have to draft some more interior linemen, some of our offensive linemen as well, too. We're going to have to draft some more skill positions in the first or second round eventually, too. Darnell Mooney, Jesse Bates is going to have to be replaced. Caden Ellis at some point is going to have to be replaced. David Onyemata. Those 4 guys alone in the next few years are going to be in their 30s. You got to kind of keep thinking moving forward, and we're going to have to give up a lot for Micah Parsons. Now, what you're hoping is going to happen is that Arnold Ebiketie actually has a pretty good year, and we can actually re-sign him and the contract not have to be so heavy. That Braylon Trice actually comes along really strong, and then he's a guy that can be in our rotation on pass rush for the next few years. I think that we have a really good core and team of what we have right here, right now. And we actually need to get our younger players a lot more on the field and a lot more reps. Honestly, I think we started the growth of people like Ruka Roro and Zach Harrison with Jimmy Lake last year and not wanting to actually give these guys more burn and actually play these guys a lot more. We're going to tap in with the homie Money Mel to kind of get his thoughts about what he's seen in camp so far and with some of the things that have stood out to him the most. But what I'd like to do real quick is kind of talk about some of the position battles that I think I see in camp moving forward. I think you really want to watch out for that nickel position. As of right now, Alford has a lead on that, but I think that Billy Bowman has a good chance of actually competing and winning that position. And you could tell that the coaches really want to see him be able to get that position. Another battle that I think you want to pay close attention to is the other safety position. They really love Xavier Watts out there, and he's gotten a lot more burn with the first unit than any other rookie has so far. But Fuller's actually done a really good job out there as well, too, and I think that those guys could both get a lot of playing time. But It's going to be interesting to see who actually gets the start first and foremost. My money is on Watts, but you never know. A lot of playing time that they want to give to these guys moving forward. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're calling yourself a starter or not. When you're in the secondary and you're on the front line of scrimmage, those guys actually rotate a great deal more than your actual off-ball linebackers. Which leads me to my next point. I think that one place that we really need to keep an eye on as far as battling is up there in the trenches on the edge. Not 100% sold that Arnold Ebiketie is going to be the starting day one edge defender that some guys have been telling me that he's going to be. Just because he's older and just because he's got a little bit more experience, that doesn't mean he's going to be the guy out the gate starting. I think it's going to be really hard to keep James Pearce Jr. off the field. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was a day one starter. Or, again, even if he's not the day one starter, I think he's going to eat a lot into all the other edge rushers' playing time. And as of right now, James Pearce Jr. might be the most effective edge rusher that we have out there. And if he doesn't start and it's Leonard Floyd, I believe it could just as easily be Zach Harrison as the other guy on the edge starting out there on early downs. I think that Ebiketie could be the odd man out because looking at practice so far, he hasn't popped out in practice so far from just the eye test of what I'm looking at. I'm actually seeing Zach Harrison making plays. I'm actually seeing James Pearce Jr. be disruptive and make plays all the time. Floyd in the backfield making plays. I think if Braylon Trice was given a lot more reps and a lot more opportunity, he could be better than Arnold Ebiketie is right now at this point in time. So it's going to be interesting. I love the competition that we have right now, but those are the main places that I think that we're going to see a little bit more competition on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, I think that Kyle Pitts and Ray McCloud are kind of competing for that number 3 receiver position. And I think there's an upside with both of those guys out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fit Kyle Pitts a lot more into the offense this year as well, too. They definitely want to get him the ball, and you know that Michael Penix Jr. loves having him out there. But they're going to have to figure out how to kind of reconcile getting all these guys enough touches. I think that the number 3 tight end position is also a place that is up for grabs and up for a roster spot potentially. Anything, I'm really loving the competition of this team. The steel sharp as steel, the ones versus ones, going at each other's necks. This defense has a different aura at this point in time. They definitely are walking out with a different type of confidence. Our defensive line and our front seven is now playing with a different type of edge. What's going on, Mel? Yo, so appreciate you hopping in on the bird bath with us, bruh. You know, you was out there at the camp at the open practice. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So give me your thoughts a little bit on what you actually saw out there.
Well, what caught our attention, with mine in particular was I like they was working on the 2-minute drill, if I'm not mistaken. We were seeing how quick they can get back on the ball. But following along with I'm thinking it was the 2-minute drill, them trying to pick up the chemistry on being able to get back up on the ball in a hurry, in case we got one of them plays, them 1-minute drills we need to get hurry up on. I see they building up their chemistry on that. You know what I mean? I'm loving the Penix and Drake combination. I can see that's gonna be real deadly. I can also see that Ray might have another breakout season on his hand. I know all of us was kind of surprised about the season that he had because mostly Ray would play special teams or whatnot. So he had a good season himself, and the way things are looking now, I feel like he might have another good season. Dealing with Michael Penix himself. You know what I mean? Like they really spreading the ball. Like I'm seeing the chemistry between certain receivers with him and Penix and whatnot. But yeah, man, I'm seeing it all. I'm seeing it all gel, man. I'm like what I'm seeing. Again, like I say, most definitely, especially the Penix and Drake connection.
Do you think James Pearce Jr. could be the best pass rusher on our team?
Do I think he is or could be later on in his career?
Yes, so far, from what you've seen so far, who do you think is the best pass rusher that you saw that stood out the most, just from when you looked at practice?
Oh, well, from a practice standpoint, absolutely. James Pearce Jr., like disruptive on every play. And again, seeing it for yourself and versus you hearing it, the get off is real. His get off is absolutely nasty. And I can't wait to see what it's gonna do because we've been lacking that again since Vic Beasley. Not just James Pearce himself, but that defense and that rotation that they got. I'm very intrigued to see how that's gonna work out. There's so many toys that I see coaches playing with, and that rotation was standing out. You got all these significant pieces now. How do you use all these? How do you give everybody their time as well? We also got Braylon Trice coming back. Somebody we had high hopes for last year, and he's looking good. He's looking like himself, like he never got injured. So that really got my attention because I feel like the offense is gonna be okay. Once it get to clicking and get to rolling, I feel like them boys gonna be okay. The defense is really what I'm paying attention to, and that's what really stood out to me, the rotation. Who's gonna keep lining up on these edges, how they gonna maneuver, our special skill set people.
Yeah, no doubt. It definitely seemed like the energy was a lot different. There's a lot more confident energy with the defense, where like they felt like they could match whatever energy, and where they feel like they're the premier unit just as much as well too. You had everybody running to the ball. I really like that. Like everybody seemed like they were trying to meet at the ball. Like you had multiple guys coming to wrap up on tackles. Who do you think is going to wind up being the starter as far as the defensive front? Because we saw a lot of Zach Harrison out there on that edge. Like, explain to people like how he looks, like while he's out there. I think they had him listed at 275 or something like that, but he don't look 275, right? Like he looks
bigger.
Yeah. He looked like a damn near 300-pounder out there type of.
Yeah, he looks bigger, man. So I'm thinking that might have been the equipment or whatnot, but he looks bigger. But he's moving though, man. And again, they're rotating him from in and out. I think they're gonna be testing his skills on the edge a little bit weirdly. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, he's bigger than expected though, man.
How do you feel about Penix? We were next to some guys who were kind of talking about some of the passes that he was throwing and being off a little bit. Do you think that those is just kind of growing pains and it's things that he'll be able to kind of get out the system? Did you feel like you saw enough in terms of that? Because I mean, I feel like I did, but I don't want to be just a homer about it either. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Growing pains. Even with the 3 games that we gave him at the end of the season, it was a nice amount. But again, I know we necessarily are between that line of saying he's not a rookie. This not his rookie year since he got those 3, but at the same time, he still hasn't went through the growing pains of a rookie, regardless on this being his second year. So those stumbles and bumps, those are needed. It's cool. It's expected. He didn't have a full 17 games, so you're gonna have your throws that you want back. But I love the way that he's critiquing himself. You know what I mean? You can tell from, his mistakes, or you can tell from even the good and the bad passes. He's studying himself. He wants to be the best. He wants to be able to give his receivers the best opportunities, period. I went back and did my tape on the kid, and I can understand why he wrote that letter to the NFL people prior to his injuries. You know what I mean? It's one thing to have the skill set, and yeah, people will wonder about your injuries, but to be a student of the game, you can actually tell he's a student of the game with that rocket of an arm. I hope he has a blessed season to stay healthy. I think this kid's the sky's the limit for him, man, with these receivers and the weapons he got around him. So, but what's been unique to you so far? Like, what's something that's standing out to you for this defensive wise, or something that you want to see, or something that you have seen that's been up to your standard?
I mean, I think Zach Harrison is definitely going to be a key piece that is going to allow us to do a lot of things versatilely with that defense at different times. One thing that I thought that stood out kind of interesting was that I expected Billy Bowman to kind of come in and be able to take that nickel a little bit faster. Alford actually looked all right out there in the nickel as well too. We definitely saw points in time where they're definitely wanting to coach. You could tell they really want Bowman to be able to be at that spot as well too. But playing in that slot, it makes it where the person has a free go both ways, and it's harder to jam them because they're not usually going to be on the line of scrimmage or whatnot. So it definitely takes a special type of skill set to be able to do that. So I think that's something that's going to be interesting to look out for. I definitely liked the kid Joshua Simon, that tight end, number 47. Yeah, he actually seemed to move pretty well in space.
And you was correct. That was the cornerback that intercepted Penix.
Sean Brooks.
Yeah, it was him. So he's seeming fired up out there. He's got a sense about him too, man. So I'm liking the battles. I'm liking in practice battles though, man.
Yeah, I definitely like the competitiveness. There's a lot of there's a lot of competition out there, and there's a lot of guys who you could just tell they seem like there's a sense of urgency. Guys are wanting to, where they really want to make the team, where some of these guys are wanting to make sure that they get that playing time, get those reps and everything. I think the swagger on the defense, that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I noticed out there, where it's like if I hadn't been a Falcons fan already and knew that the offense was the strong point of it or whatnot, I'm looking at it like, oh man, the defense is actually pretty good too. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how Jalen Walker's going to be once he gets out there. Absolutely. He definitely seemed like he was definitely locked in on practice though, and one.
I love it. I love it. I hear Raheem saying that he's still trying to practice, even though dealing with the hamstring. So, I love the hard, man. So I can't wait to see what he produce too, man. I think the kid's gonna be special as well, man. I can't wait to see what him and Pierce produce.
And I like Trice. I do. I liked what I saw of Trice.
Sleeping giant. Sleeping giant.
I feel like he has some things he could work on, but just being a guy that's just kind of rusty and getting back out there into the swing of things. And I really like that he's really stout against the run. He's a guy that's one of those power rush type of guys that just kind of has a motor and just keeps going, And I think that that's going to wear down on some of those offensive linemen as we have him out there as well too. I really like the depth. Yeah, they definitely. I like you said, the rotation on the D line. It seems like they feel very comfortable about that second team guys that you have out there as well. I think that Kentavious Street, and Taquan. We were talking about him in the whip. Taquan, yeah, he's a guy that's not necessarily that great, but I think he's at the price we have him at. He's a guy that could definitely give us some major rotational push for a while. I think we have a lot of undersized guys, but I think that they want to. I think if they can get like maybe 9 or 10 just straight up defensive linemen through camp, if they feel like they could carry that this year, they will.
I think that's kind of what they aiming towards to do, to make sure, of course you're kind of worried about trying to fulfill that spot of what Grady left, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're going to have that rotation until you see that standout point. Then you got a couple guys that's working on their last year, as we also talked about, you know what I mean? So you're going to want to rotate and really see what's for the future and what we can, will hold after this season's over with too. Because I think like we were saying, Omada's like on his last year.
Yeah, Onyemata's on his last. Yep, definitely. I think Kate, this is a last year for Kate Nellis, and I think maybe Bates as well too, in terms of whether their contract is up, whether they're gonna re-up or not. No, I think Jesse Bates might have one more year after that. I like some of those other guys I definitely like a lot of the rotation that we got with those guys. I think we have some undersized guys, but you can also play a lot of them in different places. Some of those guys that are edge / interior guys that can do a little bit more than just only being one of those. So Brandon Dorless. I was kind of interested to see. I was hoping to see him pop on camera a little bit more. He's not, or pop in person a little bit more. I've seen him out there in the mix, but hadn't really stood out necessarily. I do like Root.
I feel like Root gonna take that next step too, for sure. So more playtime he gets, I feel like he'll take it. But I mean, I guess we'll really see, man. And I guess that what comes in with the rotational package, because they already have a plan for Rook and Brandon. Those are supposed to be the guys that's supposed to step up this year. Even the undrafted free agency, that was kind of looking good. We were discussing the guy from Miami,
Simeon Barrow.
Right. So, you want to get all these people in rotation, but like I feel like the more PT they get, because Dorless didn't get nothing but a game probably last year.
I think he might have got 3 games. But it was toward the end of the season. Yeah, he got hurt a couple times too. So,
So with preseason coming, man, and man, I'm hoping to really see something from these young cats, man.
I think that Kobe Bryant's gonna have a hard time potentially making the roster. I didn't see him a ton out there today. I could have just been missing him a little bit, but didn't really.
And I hope that wasn't the case, but I don't think we seen him out there either. You know, and I'm having high hopes for him, and I'm hoping I'm not just going about the hype because I had to go do my homework on the kid, and I'm still trying to again like we discussed, I'm trying to figure out why he fell so far off of the draft map, and looking at the highlights. Now we just can't go by highlights. What was it that not get him drafted? Because what I'm seeing, the boy got good ball skills, man. Good ball haul skills, man. Nice interception, not scared to tackle. But I know it was something. So, but I'm kind of rooting for the underdog kid, man. You know what I mean?
I hope he can. Yeah, I hope he can make it, but it is gonna be interesting to see what happens with it. As far as like playing guys in the preseason, I'm okay with them not necessarily giving a ton of play time to some of the starters, but I would like to see them, get acclimated for sure. I'm excited to see what happens when they play when they scrimmage against the joint practices with Tennessee or whatever. But yeah, no, all in all, I do think that the team looks a lot better. I think
So. No starters preseason or certain starters you want to see.
I play them a little bit, but I wouldn't go heavy with it. I would kind of keep it almost similar to what they did last year. Like I think that was a good move what they did last year, like not playing a ton of starters.
And then you want to also give the opportunity to the people who's actually trying to make the team.
And I'm kind of curious whether this training staff has an issue with the way that they kind of do their conditioning and getting it, getting those guys ready to play. Seems like we have a lot of injuries.
That's a little concerning.
And seeing that, I don't think the injuries are so serious. I just think, just like you said, I think this is a stage of what the trainers are taking. I'm hoping, and I'm hoping that like Mooney injury is not that serious,
Right.
but we know the seriousness of the games of that coming up.
Right.
So that's how you're approaching the situation, as in it's serious, even though it's not serious. So you don't want nothing to be re-injured so quickly. Like we ain't even begun. And again, we were just also discussing the early bye. So with that being said, like I'm just like Kobe them just came off the non-injury list. I didn't think it was nothing serious with them because ain't nobody really been doing no physicalness, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I just think they playing it so tight to the fact that you know how important these first couple games are. So let's treat this as in so like it's serious. Like I'm pretty sure if we really needed him, he probably can go out there and play right now. But just because the seriousness of what's coming up, hey, let's give him as much time as we can to make sure that shoulders is tip top.
Yeah, I could see that too, for sure. I definitely could see that for sure. It's gonna be interesting still to see what DJ Shark is able to do as well. I was hoping to see him a little bit more in practice, but didn't really notice anything standing out with him. But yeah, no, I'm excited for the season, bro. So
Yeah, they said he looked good with the workout, man. And me going back looking at his highlights, if he can come with that same energy, he has a similarity to Mooney a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If from my standpoint.
well, speed wise, he can get downfield on him. He's a little bit taller than Mooney. He got Mooney by about 3 inches, 3-4 inches. He's 6. I think he's 6'3". So Mooney is either 5'11" or 6 foot. I like those bigger receivers though when they have them. We gonna go ahead and bring it to a wrap on this one, bro. Anything you want to shout out?
Shout out to the whole Atlanta Falcons community, man. Shout out to the city, of Atlanta, man. Shout out to my family, you know what I mean? Shout you out, brother. I appreciate the opportunity, you know what I mean? Appreciate the company today at the football complex, man. Shout out to our tech team, man. You know what I mean?
Tell people where they can follow you at.
Oh, man, you can also follow me, man, because I am multi-talented. You can follow me at The Real Money Mail on Instagram, The Real Money Mail King 90 on Instagram. You just want to Google me and keep up with everything I got going on because I'm also an actor and a songwriter. You can just Google The Real Money Mail, period. And, man, I got videos out, I got movies out, I got a series that I'm on, Zone the series. I'm everywhere, man. Again, The Real Money Mail, man.
All right, family, that's our show for today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to stay tuned on the latest for what we got going on at the Falcons Bird Bath. C-Mo to C. Mitchell, Falcons Bird Bath, my game official. Checking out, baby.